Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning, children. It's lovely to see you. Unfortunately, we're unable to get out of our homes at the moment, but we decided that what would be really nice is to send you some videos with messages from the Bible from Uncle Trev's garden. As you know, Jesus often used to tell us lots of important stories by looking around at the fields and the birds and the seeds and the plants, and he used to tell us really important messages on how we should live. So what we're going to do today, we're going to go into the chicken house and see if I can find some eggs. Come on, follow me. So here's our hens, and down here, hopefully we've got some chicken eggs. Oh, can you see all those eggs? So today we're going to see if we can learn a message about an egg. So here's the egg that I've just taken from the chicken house. Do you know any famous eggs? The most famous egg I can think of is Humpty Dumpty. Do you know the nursery rhyme Humpty Dumpty? Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. You see, Humpty lived in Eggland. And Eggland was a wonderful place to live because it had a wonderful king. The king of Eggland was amazing. He was lovely, he was wonderful, he was kind. And he created this wonderful world for his eggs to live in. But there was one rule in Eggland. Because the king wanted to keep everyone safe, he created a large wall to go all the way around Eggland to keep all his eggs safe. And the one rule was, you mustn't touch the wall and you mustn't go on the wall. Sign the king. One day, Humpty Dumpty woke up and he looked out of his window and he saw this big sign saying, do not go on the wall. And straight away he thought to himself, I want to go on the wall. I'm not going to listen to that king. I'm not going to do what he says. He's probably being really hard on us. He's probably stopping us having fun. I want to go on the wall. So Humpty Dumpty got a rope and he set off. And as he was going further out from the town, further towards the wall, the signs got bigger and bigger. Do not go on the wall, signed the king. I'm not listening to him, said the egg. I know better. I know better than that king. So he arrived at the wall. He reached out and he touched it. Ha! He said, you see that? Nothing happened. That king doesn't know what he's talking about. Then he got his rope and he threw it up to the top of the wall and he started to climb up the wall. I wonder what's on beyond the wall, said Humpty Dumpty. I'm sure there's something wonderful that the king is keeping from us. Humpty eventually arrived at the top of the wall and he looked over the wall, but there was nothing that exciting. He started to walk along the top of the wall. He skipped and he jumped and then he thought he'd try a somersault. You see? Nothing bad is going to happen. That king doesn't know what he's talking about. And so Humpty Dumpty decided to sit down on the wall. And that's when it all went wrong. Because as he sat down, he started to roll. And he rolled along the wall. And then he rolled off the wall. And Humpty Dumpty smashed. Humpty Dumpty was broken. All the king's horses and all the king's men arrived, but they couldn't put Humpty together again. Humpty was broken. Humpty had a problem, and nobody could save him. Now the story of Humpty Dumpty is just a made-up story. It's just a pretend story. But in the Bible tells us that we do have a problem. A much bigger problem than Humpty Dumpty. The Bible tells us that we are broken. It started back in a garden. God had made a beautiful world. He was kind. He was generous. He was thoughtful. He made man, Adam, and he made Eve, his wife. And he put them in a beautiful garden for them to enjoy. He said, enjoy this beautiful garden that I've created for you. Just one rule, don't touch the tree in the middle of the garden. Don't eat the fruit from it either. That was the very thing that Adam and Eve decided to do. They thought, Who's God to tell us what to do? Maybe he's been hard on us. Maybe he's been unkind to us. Maybe he's keeping something back. They wanted to be like God. They shook their fist at God and said, you'll not rule over us. We'll decide what we want to do. And so Adam and Eve listened to the devil, and they took the fruit that they shouldn't have. We're like that as well, aren't we? God has told us how to live, but we don't. We do things that we know we shouldn't do. And the things that we should really be doing, we don't. We disobey God. We shake our fist at God and said, I will do what I want to. I'm not listening to you, God. You're not going to rule over me. And just like this egg became broken, the Bible says that we are broken. We have lost our relationship to God. God is actually angry with us now because we have sinned against him. God is not happy with us anymore. We have a massive problem. No one could put Humpty Dumpty together again. Can anyone put us back together again? Can anyone make us right with God again? We have a problem. So children, you're going to have to come back next week and find out how we can solve this problem. How can we be put back together again? See you next week. Thanks for listening.